Minnesota Vikings seems set to start fourth-year center Garrett Bradbury in the middle to at least start the season, even though they had all of the opportunities in the offseason to replace him in free agency, in the draft, but they're still rolling with the Grim Reacher, former first-round pick. Now, I fully understand, like the jokes and the memes around Vikings fans and center Garrett Bradbury were just trying to replace him. Hey, J.C. Treader and his bionic leg one time. J.C. Treader, no, he's gone. How about Chris Reed, the pride of Mankato State University Community College? Or what about center Wyatt Davis just grasping at straws any way possible to try and replace Garrett Bradbury because he has not been great, admittedly. But the Vikings, Kwesi adofo-mensah, as well as head coach Kevin O'Connell, they decide to roll with Garrett Bradbury at the center position to start the season. So can he do it? Can he do it? Can he get off the mat and prove all the haters and the losers wrong? It's possible. It's possible. Here are 5 reasons why Garrett Bradbury could be solid in 2022. First up, number 1, better guard play. Now, this is a big issue where the guards around you at center are extremely important to determine how you're going to succeed or how you're going to fail. And throughout his tenure as the Viking center over the last 3 years, where he has, yes, been PFF's lowest graded PFF pass blocking center, 3 years running, a win-play show. It's tough. But he's had Elflein at guard. He's had Dozier at guard. He's had Drew Samia at guard. He's had Oli Udoh at guard. So it hasn't been pristine. It hasn't been a good run at guard. Now, at left guard, you do have Ezra Cleveland, another year older, another year wiser. I think that he's damn solid at left guard. So that chemistry has been building up between he and Garrett Bradbury, as well as right guard. I think that you are going to have rookie Ed Ingram starting right out of the gates, and I think that he's going to be rock solid. He's been good in the run game, building up chemistry, working with the ones over the last couple weeks. I think that he is going to be that guy to start right away. Or worst case scenario, you have veteran Jesse Davis in there. It's whatever. But I do think that Ed Ingram is going to start week 1. I think he's got a good anchor, and I think that having competent guard play around him could actually do wonders for Garrett Bradbury. Next up, reason number 2 why Bradbury could be solid this season. Get up, come on, get down with the thickness. And it's been a trope with Bradbury. And in fact, most of the Vikings offensive line, since they've been drafting these lighter, more movement-based offensive linemen to get into the outside zone scheme. But Bradbury adding good weight to that lower end. And yes, he got smoked on the first day of padded practices against Harrison Phillips. But again, Harrison Phillips is just a man-child. But overall, he's leveled off. He's done a lot better in one-on-ones. He's done better in 11-on-11s. His play during the preseason was okay. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. Well, it was closer to good than it was to bad. So respect there. So maybe things are actually coming along, and maybe he is learning in training camp. Maybe the coaches are actually getting to it. Maybe he's stepping up his play. Maybe that addition of a little bit of lower body strength is actually going to pan out, and maybe that anchor is going to be good to go. But remember, week 1, Kenny Clark, the old nemesis, it's going to be back. It's going to be back, baby. Next up, reason number 3 why Garrett Bradbury could be solid in 2022. Improved scheme. So last year, Phil Rauscher, first-time offensive line coach, filling in for Dennison. Rick freaking Dennison, man. As well as Clint Kubiak, first-time play caller. Now, yes, you could say Chris Cooper, first time with a big-time job as offensive line coach, as well as Kevin O'Connell, first time as the full-time play caller, even though he called some plays in Washington. You could say that, yes. But I do think that the Broncos, looking at what they did with Luke Cushenberry, and also the Rams, looking at what they did with Brian Allen, and you have Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips, what they did with the aforementioned Brian Allen, the pride of Michigan State, undersized center. They covered him with some extremely good guard play. So I do think that Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips, they understand how to protect Garrett Bradbury, as defensive coordinators have been constantly trying to isolate him. You occupy the guards on the outside, and then you isolate the center one-on-one against a man-sized nose tackle or 3-tech, just get it done. But I do think that the Vikings will be able to scheme help for Bradbury. They'll be able to get him out of trouble. They'll be able to eliminate one-on-one situations. And I think that all that combined with better guard play, as well as Bradbury with a little bit better anchor, I think that certainly could and should end up being a plus for the Vikings on the interior offensive line. Next up, reason number 4 why Bradbury could be solid in 2022. Confidence/contract year. Now, if you're Garrett Bradbury, you could have easily just taken, hey, the Vikings aren't picking up my fifth-year option, whatever, it would have been $13 million fully guaranteed. I understand that, but the confidence that they've shown him in the fact that they didn't really bring in big-time free agency help. Yes, they brought in Schlutman, who I actually think is pretty damn solid as a backup, Chris Reed, Jesse Davis, etc., but they didn't bring in J.C. Treader. They didn't bring in Matt Paradise. They didn't bring in the big-time, big-name center. They didn't bring in James Daniels from the Bears. They didn't draft Tyler Linderbaum. They didn't draft Cam Jurgens. So there's like, hey, you are our guy. You're going to be our guy this year. So that should inspire some confidence. And being in a contract year, he's like, okay, well, I didn't get my fifth-year option picked up. I can have a big-time season. I can hold my own, and I can get paid either here or somewhere else in free agency. So that's got to be in the back of his mind as well. Lastly, reason number 5 why Garrett Bradbury could have a big-time season in 2022, short leash. So everything that we said about the confidence things, like, hey, you are our guy, blah, 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 that could go out the window very quickly, because I do think that Austin Schlutman, the Dutch pronunciation, is rising. I think that he would be a very solid center too. So the Vikings do have some viable options, and I think that the Vikings' new staff with O'Connell and Wes Phillips and Cooper and Riscotti, I think that they will be quicker to replace if someone is not living up to the standard performance-wise, as opposed to when it was Dennison, as opposed to when it was Zimmer in the previous regime, where it's like, hey, we'll just roll the same guys out there and hope for a better outcome. Nah. So I think that Bradbury, maybe that will light a fire under his ass. Maybe that will get things going. It's like, hey, I'm in a contract year here. Yes, I was basically handed the starting center job again, but I could be replaced by Schlutman or Chris Reed or whoever. So I need to step my game up, and it needs to start out right away, as we got Kenny Clark out of the gates with the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. So I actually do think that some of the confidence, maybe it makes sense. Maybe it will play out. And maybe us as Vikings fans, we just took that first pad of practice where Bradbury got lit up as like, oh, that's it. No mas. No mas. But maybe he's going to get things together. I don't know. Knocking on all the wood. I hope that Bradbury gets it together this season. And if he leaves for a massive free agent deal next offseason, it is what it is. We'll get a pick in 2024, respect to the Grim Reacher. But as Bradbury goes, so goes the offensive line. As the offensive line goes, so goes Kirk Cousins. As Kirk Cousins goes, so goes the offense, so goes the damn team, right? So maybe this is the year that Bradbury gets it together. Let's go, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. 5 reasons why Garrett Bradbury could have a solid 2022. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.